Hey guys, some last essay advice, perhaps before you begin, or if you've already started, maybe this advice can help you go back and review and make sure you did everything right. If you were in class, you already got a similar version of this from me, but if you weren't, this will be helpful. Or even if you were, this will give you a review of what I'm looking for in a successful essay. So before I go further, if you haven't looked at the rubric yet, pause this video and go check out the rubric and kind of wrap your head around that and come back and watch this, because that's what I'm going to be kind of fleshing out here. So the first essay, you're choosing a civilization. That's the first thing. India or China. Ancient India or ancient China. You are not doing both. Do not combine the two. Pick one or the other. Pick the one that you feel like you understand more. Pick the one that more interests you. Pick the one that is easier to find information on in your book and in your resources. That's the one you should do. And after you do it, take a look at those 8 characteristics of civilization, documents linked right there. These are the same ones you did your project on. Public works, government, complex religion, job specialization. That's 4 of the 8. There's 8 more. You don't have to do all 8 though. You only have to do 3. And you don't have to do it for multiple civilizations. You only have to do 1. So this is like a miniature version of your project that you're doing individually. So once you have your civilization, identify, go to the chapter in the textbook and see what features you find as you review that material. Those are the features you want to focus on. You're going to pick 3 of them. And note the second one, the second sentence here. It says, describe in detail at least 3 features of civilization using specific examples. When I say specific examples, that means I want you using vocab or the names of people and places specific to that place. I don't want you telling me that the Chinese had government with laws. Government, laws, these are not specific. Tell me about Chinese dynasties. There's a vocab word for you. Tell me about Han Fight Z and legalism. That is specific examples. And if you can describe that in detail, that would be check 1 of the 3 characteristics that you need to describe. So you want to do that for all 3. You want to find 1 specific example for all 3 that you can describe in detail. Not like super extensive detail, but like a solid 2 sentences. And so just like imagine that, like 2 to 3 sentences per characteristic. Then conclude by picking which one you think is the most important. And you can't be wrong on this. The only way you lose points on this question is if you don't explain why. So explain your rationale. What makes that the most important contribution to civilization? And that will be a very successful essay. Remember, you can use your resources here, but say things in your own words. I do not want to have to nail anyone for copying and pasting. Part of learning is being able to rephrase things in your own word. If you can't do that, then you don't know it and you probably shouldn't be writing it and pretending you understand it. Because if you understand it, you can put it in your own words. Essay number 2. I think this one's the more complicated one. 2 belief systems. Again, pick 1. Do not conflate them. Either pick Indian religion or Chinese philosophy. And like I said in class, there's 2 examples of Indian religion and 3 examples of Chinese philosophy. But that does not mean you have to write more for the Chinese philosophy one. If you look at the rubric, it says that you have to describe at least 3 basic teachings and mention all of the belief systems in the option you choose. So like, for example, if you choose Indian religion, you have to describe at least 3 basic teachings and mention both of those. So you either do 2 of Hinduism or 2 of Buddhism and at least 1 of the other one. Whereas if you choose Chinese philosophy, you'll just have to make sure that you describe a basic teaching of all 3 of those philosophies. And you can do more if you feel like you need to say more because you're not really sure about them, so you want to give multiple examples to make sure you show your understanding. That's what these essays are about, guys. It's about showing understanding. But it's the same expectations on that first question for both of those. Once again, in the second question, we have specific examples here. Specific examples of how these belief systems created order in their society. If you look at the rubric, I want 2. So with Indian religion, give me a specific example of how Hinduism can create order in society. Give me a specific example of how Buddhism can create order in society. If you pick Chinese philosophy, you don't necessarily have to give a specific example for all 3 because the rubric only asks for 2. So which two do you understand the most as far as order goes? How does Confucianism and the teachings of Confucianism create order in society? Same question for legalism. Same questions for Taoism. Again, specific examples. So you want to be using language from the book, from the PowerPoints, from the resources you used in class, specific to those civilizations. Don't make your answer like something that could be interchangeable if it was about Egypt or Mesopotamia. We want this language and the vocab specific to the regions, the civilizations that we're talking about here. And then the last thing, what is one or more comparisons that we can make between these belief systems in society today? Once again, guys, it only has, you just look at what it asks for. It asks for one. If you're unsure of your one, include more. Or if you just want to show off because you're so freaking smart, then include more. But you need to think of one. How can you connect what we learned about Hinduism or Buddhism to your world today or your life? Get creative here. Make a connection. We did a little bit of this in class, so try to pull from that. Same with Chinese philosophy, Confucianism, legalism, Taoism. These are very Chinese philosophies, but there are comparisons that you can make between these Chinese philosophies and the philosophies that we use in our government here in the United States in 2020. And so try to make those connections, and they don't even necessarily have to be with government. I just want you, learning, guys, works best when you can connect knowledge to your own life and your own experiences. So that's what I'm asking you to do here, because that's how you make this knowledge meaningful. So hopefully this video gives you some help as you try to write these summative assessment essays. If you need more help, please, please, please reach out. This is a summative assessment essay. This goes in the 80% category on your grade. I want you all to do well on it. And if you need more assistance from me to do well on it, that is what I'm here for. Send me an email. I'll respond. You want to set up a phone call or a Google Meet? I'll do it. Whatever I need to do to help you get where you need to be to have success in this essay. So I hope to hear from some of you. And I hope to read some good essays. Good luck.